It was late and raining hard, the kind of cold rain that soaks through your coat no matter how fast you run. Michael Rowan sat in his usual corner booth at the small roadside diner just outside of town. The yellow lights inside glowed softly through the fogged-up windows, making the place feel like the only warm spot left in the world. He had the same dinner he always ordered, soup and a slice of bread. It wasn't that he loved it. It was just simple, quiet, and predictable. That's how he liked things these days. Ever since his wife Lily passed 3 years ago, quiet had been his only company. The bell above the diner door rang, and a gust of wind blew in with the rain. Michael looked up and saw a woman standing there dripping wet, holding her coat tight around her shoulders. She looked completely out of place, her clothes expensive, her shoes ruined by mud, her hair tangled from the storm. She looked lost in more ways than one. "Car broke down," she said softly when the waitress asked if she was okay. Her voice was calm, but her eyes gave away how tired she was. "I just needed somewhere to wait." The waitress pointed her to a table, but Michael, almost without thinking, called out, "You can sit here if you want. It's warmer by the window." She hesitated, then nodded and sat across from him. "Thank you," she said, still catching her breath. "No trouble," he said. "You look like you could use some hot soup." She smiled faintly. "I could use a lot of things right now, but soup's a good start." Michael waved the waitress over and ordered another bowl and coffee. He didn't ask her name right away, and she didn't offer it. They just sat in silence for a while, the sound of rain against the windows filling the gaps. After a few minutes, she said quietly, "I'm Emily." "Michael," he replied. "You live around here?" "Yeah, got a small garage down the road. Been here most of my life." He studied her for a second. "You?" She looked down at her coffee. "I was just passing through. Headed north, I guess. I didn't really plan where to stop." Michael could tell she wasn't saying the whole truth, but he didn't press. The soup came and she ate slowly, her hand still shaking a little from the cold. When she finally looked up again, she asked, "Do you always eat here alone?" "Yeah," he said simply. "Used to eat with my wife. Now it's just me." Something softened in her expression. "I'm sorry," he nodded. "Me too." They didn't speak much after that, but the silence felt less heavy than before. When the waitress brought the check, Emily reached for her purse, then froze. "Oh no," she whispered. "My bag's in the car." "Don't worry about it," Michael said. "Dinner's on me. I can't let you—" "Sure you can. Call it a welcome to nowhere." That made her laugh quietly for the first time. "Thank you, Michael." When they stepped outside, the rain had turned into a thin mist. Michael walked her to her car, a black sedan sitting dead under the flickering streetlight. He popped the hood and took a quick look. "Battery's gone," he said. "I can fix it in the morning, but not tonight." Emily sighed. "Great, I guess I'll find a motel." "There's only one nearby," he said. "But it's been closed for months. You can stay at my place if you want. I've got a spare apartment above the garage. It's small but warm." She blinked, surprised. "You don't even know me," he shrugged. "You don't look like trouble." That made her laugh again, a tired but real laugh. "I'm actually pretty good at causing trouble," she said, half joking. He smiled. "Then we'll call it even. I could use a little life around the place." She looked around at the empty road, then at him. "Okay," she said softly. "Thank you." The apartment above the garage was clean but simple. A couch, a small kitchen, and one bedroom. He showed her where the heater was, left some towels, and told her to rest. She thanked him again, her voice almost breaking. That night, for the first time in years, Michael didn't feel completely alone in the world. In the morning, Emily came down to the garage wearing one of his old flannel shirts. She laughed when she caught him looking surprised. "Mine are soaked," she said. "This was the driest thing I could find." He smiled. "Looks better on you anyway." She helped him with small things around the shop, passing tools, holding the flashlight, sweeping the floor. She was clumsy with a wrench but eager to learn. After a while he asked, "So what do you do when you're not stranded in small towns?" There was a long pause before she answered, "I used to run a company." tech stuff. A lot of people, a lot of money. None of it means much now. He raised an eyebrow. You used to? Yeah, she said quietly. I got pushed out, betrayed by people I trusted. Everyone turned their back on me overnight. So I packed what I could and drove. Guess I was trying to outrun my own mess. Michael nodded slowly. I know that feeling. Different reasons, same kind of ache. Over the next few days, she stayed. What was supposed to be one night turned into a week. She fixed up the apartment, cooked dinner, and sometimes joined him at the diner. People in town started to notice. The quiet mechanic and the mystery woman from the city. Some whispered that she must be running from something. Others said he'd finally found someone new. Neither of them cared. Emily liked the quiet. For the first time in years, no one was asking her for decisions, reports, or numbers. She started helping out more in the garage, answering calls and greeting customers. Her business sense kicked in naturally. She suggested ways to attract more clients to improve the space. Within a month, the garage was busier than it had been in years. One evening while they locked up, she said, "You know, Michael, you're better at fixing people than cars." He chuckled. That so? Yeah, she said. You fixed me a little. He looked at her for a moment, then said softly, Guess we're both getting fixed. As the weeks passed, she began baking on weekends. Simple things, cookies, pies, bread. She brought them to the diner and left them by the counter with a note that said free, because kindness matters. People loved it. Soon, others started doing small good deeds too, fixing things for neighbors, sharing meals, checking on the lonely. By fall, Emily had saved enough money to open a small cafe next to the garage. She called it Warm Grounds. The sign underneath read, For anyone who needs a little comfort. She hired locals, people out of work, people trying to start over. The cafe became more than a business. It became a place for second chances. Of course, there was talk at first. The city woman and the mechanic, people whispered. But the gossip didn't last. Her kindness spoke louder. Everyone could see what she brought to the town and what the town gave back to her. One night, as they cleaned up after closing, she said quietly, You know, when my car broke down, I thought my life was over. I lost everything that mattered. But sitting across from you that night, it was the first time in months I felt human again. Michael looked at her and said, Maybe that's what we're all looking for. Someone who reminds us we still matter. The first snow of December came quietly. The town felt brighter somehow, more alive. Together they planned a Christmas dinner at the cafe. Free food, open to anyone who needed it. No questions asked. Local stores donated ingredients, the diner lent tables, and half the town showed up to help. That night the cafe was full. Strangers shared stories, laughter echoed, and no one ate alone. Emily stood beside Michael, watching the room fill with warmth and light. She whispered, You did this. He shook his head. We did this. When the night was over and everyone had gone, they stood by the window watching the snow fall. She leaned her head on his shoulder and said, I think Lily would have liked this. Michael's voice was soft. She always believed kindness keeps going. Guess she was right, Emily smiled. Maybe we're proof of that. He turned to her. Maybe that's what life's about. Not what we lose, but what we build after. She nodded, eyes shining. And who we meet when we're stranded in the middle of nowhere. Outside, snow covered the quiet road where her car had once broken down. Inside there was light, warmth, and something like peace. Michael and Emily didn't talk about love or destiny. They just kept showing up for each other day by day the way good people do. And in that simple way they found what both had been missing, a reason to keep going and someone to share the road ahead.